Hey everyone, Cody Lefevre here, aka GZCL. We're just going to talk about training straight away. This is probably the last training video of 2017, so let's just get down to it. Man, this year has been full of daunting, boring work. Just putting in the reps as super lightweights. This is just like 205 pounds or something like that, but you can see I'm kind of shifting around my hips, still having some hip instability and some pain, lots of pain some days. And what I'm doing to get through all this is just continue to train, but train within a wise set of parameters, slowly develop my range of motion, slowly develop my ability to do a variety of exercises, and gradually add weight. And now I'm up to this point where I'm moving, around the low 200s, middle 200s for squats, pain-free. I don't always need a belt. And when I do need a belt, sometimes it's just on very lightly to cue me to have better bracing, which does help with my left hip, which is the one that gives me a ton of problems. And it makes sense because my right knee is the one that hurts the most, and so they're kind of opposite, and you get how that works. Anyways, I've been building myself back up, lost a ton of weight. I'm walking around at 150 pounds right now. So that's walking around weight. That's not cutting nothing. That's just losing weight because it's taking stress off my hip and improving my quality of life and allowing me to actually train without pain. You know what? And I had to accept that maybe it's better to not have a strong deadlift or squat or bench right now. Maybe it's better just to have training without pain. And that's what I did. So I've lost a ton of weight this whole year, walking around 150 pounds. My training volume is climbing, my training intensity is climbing, and I'm able to do more and more things with my life because my training has been changed to facilitate the development of that. And I don't have any regrets. No regrets. So what you're seeing in this video is squats and front squats, stuff on my shuttle MVP, and that was a Sorinex glute ham roller. I'm using all of this stuff multiple times per week. I'm squatting at least twice a week, and some days it's really light, less than 100 pounds, and some days the volume is very little. I'm just doing less than 100 reps total in training. Some days I'm doing almost 500 reps in training though. And the trend shows gradual improvement across the board. And the thing to keep in mind, especially for me, is that it's not necessarily a bad day if I don't make an improvement to the last session. I've got to have a broad scope on my own personal progression and have a very mature understanding of what my training goals are right now. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm adjusting my training to fit what I can do to facilitate more training, a better life, and hopefully later on down the road, better competitions than I've ever had before. If I'm walking around 150, I could just take a piss and make weight at 148. We'll see if I can maintain that body weight and gain some strength, and maybe one day I can beat my best total at 148. That's not necessarily the goal, but maybe that will be an outcome. So keep those kinds of things in mind on your own strength journey. That's what we'll call it. This shuttle MVP, I've had it for about a month now, and it is fantastic. I'll show you all kinds of different exercises on it, but here I'm doing very light resistance, but keeping a decent tempo, tension on my hip, through my glutes, my hamstring, and my knee. I'm limiting the forward travel on that. These have been an absolute game changer for my training. And here we've got a separate session. This is after Christmas. The other one was just before Christmas, I believe. And here, the weights are going to be fairly similar, but I'm going to be doing less overall leg volume in this session because I knew that after a couple days, 3 days of not training over the holidays, I should probably be a little cautious, go easy, and rather than pair mostly T2 legs, even in the rehabilitatory stuff, just do some squats, get that work in, keep my familiarization with the barbell high, and continue dialing in that movement, because right now the better I can brace and control my positioning on the squat, the more I can train. Those bad recoveries that I get tend to come from me choosing to have less quality in my lift as I'm training. It's like I'm in the moment, I want to push real hard, get a couple extra reps in, they kind of suck. I realize that my bracing isn't nearly as good, or that I'm maybe getting a bit too pitched forward, letting my hips be too loose, and you know, it impacts me the next day. And making conscious decisions in training and being more cognizant of what I'm doing while I'm doing it is having a carryover to my recovery that I can't even quantify, because some days it sets you back to just the bar. The nature of all this is basically torn ligaments, bad hip socket morphology, I guess we could say. I mean, that's why I have to have such a knee dominant squat. I've talked to a number of doctors, and when I was getting out of the Marine Corps, one of the doctors was telling me that I might be looking at a hip surgery if I don't start wising up on what I'm doing. And the low bar squat had always jacked me up, and I didn't really know why. I didn't think about it, and I kept training it. I'm not saying the low bar squat caused all of it, but you know, I did a lot of sumo deadlifting as well. Did a lot of very hip strenuous stuff like hiking or standing post for days. Sitting in a convoy in the middle of Afghanistan for days, wearing flak and Kevlar and all this other sorts of stuff. These are all things that over time have put a lot of stress on my hips, and I've had one catastrophic injury with my left hip where I stepped in a deep hole and really just jammed everything up badly, and that sucked. And you know, walking around sometimes if I'm not smart, or if I'm training stupidly, that's gonna have a huge impact on my day, because after Colorado State champs, trying to drive through all of that with perseverance, toughness, positive mental attitude, all these things that we like to coach, you know, can't fend off the pain when you're, you know, sweating bullets, staring in the mirror, wondering if you're gonna make it, and then you pass out in the bathroom, and you wake up and you're realizing what just happened, that you blacked out from pain. Yeah, so I'm happy to not have days like that anymore, bummed to not be as strong as I am, but stoked to be training as hard as I can be right now. Thanks for watching the video. Enjoy some bonus footy.